Kestelman doesn't talk, he deals. Might not throw the first punch, but he'll buy the arena, the ref, and the replays if it gets him an edge. And he also performed really well for Williams. I think you sort of forget that when you get caught up in the media hype and all the rumours and bullshit. Fact that you'll like. On Mother's Day, he had a party for all the single mums and put it up on his Instagram that he was sitting with a whole bunch of single mums.
Welcome back to Ahead of the Game. It's Tuck's Sports Takes, Sports Pairs Jez. Pointing to the right side this time.
Yeah,
it's the
well
midweek.
done. That's not easy.
The midweek catch up, Chat GPT KO. We're into round 2, and there's a heap of sports chat to get through, Jez. Let's get straight into GPT KO. Lead us off with this, I reckon. What do you reckon about that?
Let's do it. Hit it. Get the good stuff out there first, then people can just bail after that.
So last time around, we had Mark Scaife and Craig Lowndes meeting up in the final round 1 bracket. Let us actually just take a look at the bracket while we're here. And we can see that Peter V'landys and Larry Kestelman meeting up in the admin corner. Bailey Smith and Cherry Evans, the NRL vs AFL corner. The motorsport corner, Verstappen and Lowndes, and then the US sports corner with Ovechkin and Artest.
You really put this together well, my friend. I like that we've got these different categories and corners. It's like some sort of like round robin where you've got Europe and Australasia, and then they've got to play off against each other. Well done.
Yeah, well, it's see how good it goes when we get to the end.
Okay. Give yourself a pat on the back is all I'm saying, all right, mate?
Oh, thank you, pal. All right. This week, we're going to go round 2, and we're starting with V'landys and Kestelman. Now, these two blokes have been back in the media recently. First off, Peter V'landys with the NRL and the expansion into Perth with the Perth Bears making a return from 2027. We spoke about that on one of the shows we've done. I have no idea which one, but you can find it somewhere on YouTube. But no, he's making headways, Jez, V'landys.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big call. There's like the expansion of the NRL, like we worked out on that show. I think it was last Friday, where Perth are coming in, and then straight away the year after you've got PNG. So it's a big, busy time for the NRL. Like if you like V'landys or not, he's certainly expanded the game, and the numbers don't lie. And NRL has fought its way back to be, arguably the most popular viewed sport in Australia. So, it's always a battle between these two, and it's going to be really interesting to see who comes out on top.
And obviously we have Kestelman from the NBL, the owner, and he's been in a lot of hot water lately surrounding his ownership of the league and clubs. He has diversified a lot of his ownership in the clubs to try and alleviate some of the pressure that is being put on him by other club owners. Jared Novelly was his opponent earlier in this bout, but he got his ass whooped.
Did you see just today, that the news come out that the owners of Southeast Melbourne are jumping on board with Novelly?
Yeah, so, that's why I thought it was perfect to bring these in straight away, because it's there. See? And whether or not that is just media stirring up a bit, I think it remains to be seen.
And Kyrgios's name all over it. Like, and he owns this much of Southeast Melbourne and has zero influence in what they're doing. But it's Kyrgios owned Southeast Melbourne.
Yeah.
Take the name. Love the media work.
The headlines. So I reckon let's get into the bout. Hey, I've told GPT. There's a lot under the surface here. Make sure you do this matchup justice and give us the description it deserves.
Oh, you telling GPT who's boss, eh? Look at you, taking the power back over the robot.
The Suit Showdown, expansion versus Empire. The battle of the boardrooms just got real. On one side, Peter V'landys, the public face of Aussie sport's most aggressive expansion. Fearless, media savvy, and with a power game built on speed, boldness, and disruption. He doesn't just run the NRL, he moves it. On the other, Larry Kestelman, the shadowy architect of the NBL's revival, operating in the background with a billionaire precision, global ambitions, and a spiderweb of business deals that would make a Bond villain proud.
They don't make him out to be a good guy at all, do they?
No.
Huh?
Both are under siege in the
No.
media. Both are accused of running tight ships with tighter inner circles. But there's no court case, commission, or press release here. Just the GPTO cage and one chair left at the throne of Aussie sports supremacy. Over to you, pal.
Tale of the tape. Peter V'landys, 62 years old, sharp tongue, sharper suit, commands a room like he owns the oxygen in it, has faced down racing scandals, COVID shutdowns, and rugby league purists, always walks away with the last word, and somehow the next headline. Larry Kestelman, 59 years old, a little bit younger, quiet operator, ruthless investor. Doesn't waste words, has transformed the NBL into a global product from the shadows, but now he's being dragged into the spotlight and the sharks are circling.
I like the little emoji
It's
things they've put here. V'landys with the brain, Kesselman with the suitcase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right,
It's
fight
all the small
breakdown.
details.
Public game. V'landys owns the media cycle. He'll trash talk on the way in, plant a headline on the way out, and leak a source close to the camp while still in the ring. Jez.
Power moves. Kesselman doesn't talk, he deals. Might not throw the first punch, but he'll buy the arena, the ref, and the replays if it gets him an edge.
Maybe he can sponsor
Wow.
your replays for live
Yeah,
streaming.
definitely. Yeah.
Heat level. V'landys is cooking with gas. Perth expansion, player pushback, and still swinging. Larry's under pressure too, but he's still playing chess with international investors. You ready?
Here we
Ready,
go.
Jez?
Here we
Final
go. Here we
verdict.
go.
Oh, the fight is tense, tactical, and filled with corporate espionage energy. Take it away, Jez.
V'landys strikes first, loud, fast, disruptive. He gets in Larry's face, forces him into the public brawl, but Larry absorbs the pressure, counters with clinical control, and in the final round drops a devastating blow. Oh my God. A strategic reveal so slick it flips the momentum and the boardroom. Winner?
Larry Kestelman via decision.
Via decision. Woo, split decision, that is, of course, if Larry Kestelman is involved. V'landys brought the fire, but Larry played the long game. This one will be debated in the sports business circles for years, but in the GPT KO octagon, the empire holds.
The empire.
That's yeah. That's got to be the biggest upset of this whole thing. I didn't think Kestelman had any chance against the grunt of V'landys.
Wow, he's just
Is he going to buy his way to the win? The little fucker.
I'm just getting visions of Palpatine in my head. You know, he's in the Senate. We're changing into the first galactic empire.
Yeah. The blue lightning coming behind.
Yeah,
could be him. He could be the emperor. Wow, it was a big first quarter final, man.
Yeah. So now, Kestelman will go on, and he'll play either Max Verstappen or Craig Lowndes. So he's got a pretty I wouldn't say easy, but if you're taking any of those other three brackets, The one you want to go up against is Verstappen and Lowndes, just in a physical
Yeah,
fight.
the little tiny race car drivers. He just pumped Volandis, who's a beast.
Yeah.
Little Kesselman, would you believe? The basketball fix will be pretty pleased. He loves Kesselman. He's a secret Kesselman lover.
Yeah.
So
All right.
yeah,
Let's talk about some shit that's happened.
mm,
There's lots going on, Jez. So let's start with Formula One.
yeah,
Started the season with a lot of talk around drivers and where they were situated in the teams, and then before we even knew it, Liam Lawson was out, Sonoda was in the Red Bulls, and fast forward just a couple of weeks later, and we're back again talking about um, team principals and drivers and what else
yeah.
is there going on in the F1?
Yeah, well, it is crazy. Colapinto, it's no surprise that coming in, it's the first of the Grand Prix in Italy, first of a big stretch in Europe, and he comes in with his bags of cash and Doohan's out. So, but it was something we talked about also on a previous show where he's got sponsorship money and he also performed really well for Williams. I think you sort of forget that when you get caught up in the media hype and all the rumors and bullshit, because like Colapinto was good. He did well. He scored points, and it was quite a surprise that he didn't get a drive in some team heading into this season. So now he gets his chance. I love that on Mother's Day, he created just a little fact that you'll like. On Mother's Day, he had a party for all the single mums and put it up on his Instagram that he was sitting with a whole bunch of single mums having a Mother's Day party. So he's
Oh,
got the flair, he's got the cash, and now he's just got to make the moves and score some points because like Doohan didn't score any points, and I think that's one of the biggest things. But but he wasn't that far off Gasly either. Like Alpine's been struggling much more than I think we thought they were ready to take a step and compete a little bit more. They had a couple of good results last year, but they just haven't been there this season. And Williams has been the team that's sort of taken over as the next best and fighting with the satellite Red Bull. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, and it's a perfect time to do it. And then in all of that, their team principal has also just out of the blue retired, gave them, or not retire, but quit. Resigned is the official word. So yeah, there's a lot of changes going on at Alpine. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go if they're better straight away with Colapinto and a new team principal. But it's an exciting race. Like besides the actual race itself at Imola, if it doesn't rain, which it is predicted to rain just on Sunday, the race is usually pretty boring there. Like the only thing that's made the races good over the last few years since it come back has been like crashes due to poor weather. So we could see that again, but it's also going to be more interesting to break down a bit of the data this weekend from practice and from qualifying, because a lot of teams are coming in with new upgrades for this new. Now there's a stretch of 3 weeks with Formula One races. So here and then Monaco and then Barcelona, I think it is. So it's going to be interesting to see. Like the Red Bull's been doing, like I think Red Bull's been doing some good cheeky small upgrades that you don't have to report, and they've been a little bit quicker, especially in qualifying. Like I was quite shocked that Verstappen has taken 3 of the last 4 pole positions. So there's obviously pace in that car. They just need a bit more race pace, and maybe with some of these new upgrades, we might see him get back on top. But especially in the rain, otherwise it's all about Oscar Piastri.
yeah. Oh, I've been hearing rumors as well that Christian Horner is gone after this race. So we'll see if that
Yeah,
eventuates. Another bit of movement
yeah.
in the paddock.
Yeah, I looked that up a little bit this morning after we had a chat a couple of days ago or yesterday. And yeah, like there is good media sources reporting about that. But then there's also some media sources that are saying that it's all just smokes and mirrors and nothing's happening and they're committed. So I don't know how you take it, but it's Formula One. All of a sudden shit happens just like that and you're not ready for it. So there's always seems to be a little bit of truth behind the rumors.
Yeah. Moving on to the NBL, we alluded a little bit to it in the GPT KO segment, but the Sharks are circling around Larry Kestelman, and the latest what do you say? The latest thing that's happened. There is a word for that. I've forgotten what it is. What do you say?
Just
The
keep it
latest.
keep it to Bogan English. Just explain your way around the word.
Oh, it's going to kill
Don't
me
need you
now.
don't need big words.
I'll think of it. I'll get it like just as we're signing off the episode.
Yeah, you got your
But
McLaren Formula One hat on, but you're a Bogan at heart, mate.
that's it, mate.
Don't try and get all
That's it.
technical with your big language.
The Southeast Melbourne Phoenix are now kind of joining with the Hawks owner Jared Novelly to, or I wouldn't say the Phoenix are, but some of the owners of the Phoenix. And there's a lot going on. So there's two different kind of processes happening in the NBL. In one aspect, you see the media around them bringing a couple of teams from the Euro League for a very esteemed, would you say it's called a cup or a tournament, a playoff?
Yeah, it's a tournament.
They'll be coming down onto Australia and also matching up against the Sydney Kings and Adelaide 36ers. And we've also seen that there'll be NBA teams coming over to Australia in the beginning of next season. So there's a lot happening around the expansion of the NBL and the lifting up in multiple categories and really taking another leap forward in the development of the league and of the sport in the country. You're seeing guys now over in the NBA draft combine progressing extremely well, getting a lot of coverage. Lockie Aldrich, one of those. Rocco Zikarsky, despite having a pretty poor season in the NBL, is also getting a lot of coverage because of his size, and he's done okay over there in the last kind of week and a half. So, you know, that aspect of the league and the sport in Australia is doing extremely well. But then you have this other stuff, and it's stuff with the player travel or the travel company that the NBL had hired and Larry owned a bit, and ownership of something, and then there as a referee that also owns something and he's bought something there, and it's just like you can't escape it. But I don't have a massive problem. It's a private company. Conflicts of interest don't exist within private companies, and you can't have a vision of a professional sport being completely equal on all terms and no run like a government. It's not. It's an entertainment business. It's a professional sport. There's money involved. I think people need to stop looking at it with the eyes of this conflict of interest. Of course, there's conflicts of interest. It's a bloody business. You
Yeah.
can't say to McDonald's or Woolies, wherever that own and sell their own products at their own shop, that it's a conflict of interest. Like, of course they do it because that's what they do.
Yeah.
Of course he's going to
Yeah.
own a team if he owns the league because he wants everyone to succeed. Of course he's going to find
Yeah.
deals on player travel within his own companies to minimize losses or to maximize efficiency. It's what you do in a business. Like I don't
Yeah, that's right.
understand that rhetoric.
Yeah, I think it's really short term. Like like you said, it is a business, and it's a great example talking about like a Woolworths or someone selling their own products there. And like when you're trying to build something, you're looking for ways to get around costs, especially with the NBL that had no money at all. And it's like, okay, what can we do? All right, I've got these contacts. Let's use these to make this more efficient and cheaper and get ahead. And obviously now that it's booming, everybody wants their piece. But where were all of these people trying to help out and share their contacts and their businesses instead of just trying to scrape money from the top now? He's done a job. And you know what? Eventually, it's going to finish. Like he'll get over it and he'll move it on, and maybe he's still going to be making money from it. But then there'll be a new CEO or a new president of the league, and going to make different decisions and maybe fade him out. But at the moment, he's done what he's had to do to build the NBL. The NBL is stronger than ever. You're getting the top teams from the Euro League coming. You're getting the top teams from the NBA. Like you said, you've got 5 guys that are a good shot this year from Australia in the NBA draft. And with, I think, 3 or 4 of them are playing in the NBL at the moment and have been developed like here in Australia. So I think, people just need to get over it, move on, realize that it's a business. And Larry's time will come when he steps aside. But at the moment, let him keep doing what he's doing because he's built it up. And yeah, it's business. And maybe business ethics aren't always there. But what big business in the world is running perfectly clean? None.
Well, it's not clean. It's just it is business. That's what it is. It's making sure you have the avenues to complete the tasks you need to complete and reach the goals you need to reach. And it's I think
that's why I like being in business with you, mate. Love you. You just put the cloud over everything.
Dispersing the cloud, more like it. Anyway, there are a lot of talk about contracts there, but there's even more contract talk in the footy codes.
What a segue.
And the NRL.
You're on fire.
Jez. The Sydney Roosters released Brandon Smith during the week to Souths. He's been out injured all year. We've spoken about this in every episode as well. His career at the Roosters didn't really eventuate to much and disappointing, but he's moved on to the Roosters. And now there's a lot of talk that Cherry Evans has destroyed Manly and he will lose his Origin shirt and he's going to the Roosters. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's great News Corp articles coming out, spreading some great stuff that he's just lost it all, going to lose everything, destroying Manly from the inside out, and no player wants to play with him anymore. And he'll be there. Who's going to take the number 7 jersey for Queensland? So it's all crazy, but I don't know. It's all the ploy. It's all the ploy of the Sydney Roosters, mate. It's all the Sydney Roosters here. Because it's not just Brandon Smith. It's they're shopping out Dom Young. Chad Townsend's also rumoured to get an early release to go play in the Super League because has been underperforming as well. There's a lot of free cash and Cherry Evans is going to come over. And they've probably planned it for ages and the Roosters will end up winning the comp with Cherry Evans coming in just like they did with Cooper Cronk. It's all, let's get on that conspiracy theory. But... But but all said and done, it's all this same talk about what does the NRL and the AFL, for that matter, do about this problem of players leaving or making decisions to leave before the seasons are done. We have split opinions about this, but it's there's got to be you've got two split opinions in the whole of Australia about it. And I think somewhere when something needs to be done. There needs to be some new rules in place or something put into place to make it work because yes, players need their future secure and need to know where they're going. But this stuff it's been the talk of the NRL and the AFL all season. And it's going to come with Perth being on expansion. They're going to be hunting players. Players are going to take big cash, then still have to play out games or finals or whatever, I don't know. Something's got to be done, but I don't have the answer.
Yeah, interesting take. I think Cherry Evans will end up in Sydney at the Roosters, and I think it's.
Do you think before the end of June? Do you think he'll go mid-season?
No, I don't think so. I think he's. I think he's too proud of a person or too loyal of a person.
What do you mean? He backflipped on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, well, because he was too loyal to the Sea Eagles. Okay. I think he'll stick there.
So he's leaving now for cash.
But he's not. That's the thing.
He's leaving for a 2-year contract, I think.
Yeah, just a longer contract. I mean, the money.
I was just being a
smart. You probably get paid the same. But I think the problem started coming, and I've said this: Seabold is a cancer at a club. I said it when he arrived. I thought they were going to go bad, and they had a bit of a jump up. But now you're starting to see their defense is struggling, and there's splits within the club. You've seen it before, and it's followed him here. Yeah. So I think Cherry Evans he'll stick the season out, and he'll play well. He'll play Origin, and Manly will be there or thereabouts. They have a great squad. And then, like you say, he'll go to Roosters and they'll win the comp next year with Sam Walker and Cherry Evans.
Yeah, probably. They'll be due. Tedesco's last year. It's all fairy tale, isn't it? Right.
Yeah, exactly.
You can see it.
Luke
Teddy
Jackson is
deserves it.
in the news as well, saying, with reports saying that he will return to the Melbourne Demons after a pretty sensational exit from there over to Freo, and I think he's on like 900K a season at Freo, and has been doing a fantastic job with Sean Darcy being injured so much in the ruck. Jackson's taken over and performed extremely well. He's pretty much been a beacon of health, playing most of the games, I'm pretty sure, and has been a great addition to the club. And I think because of the injuries they've sustained, they haven't been able to use him quite as what they wanted to. But he's been exceptional. But now the talk about him wanting to return back to Melbourne, I don't know whether this, and it's about off-field stuff, is what the reports that I read today. And this is a little bit of what we said around the Perth Bears about where do you go to find players to play in these remote locations? Perth's remote compared to the East Coast.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're from the East Coast, absolutely.
And what happens in these kind of circumstances? How do you compensate teams, or how do you still try and get some parity in the league if like it is now in the AFL, the majority of your talent's coming from Victoria?
Yeah, it is tough, but it's like, I don't know, I think the interesting part of this too is like, one way to do it is making a trade. And there was rumours that Pickett was going to get sent to WA to Freo. Right?
Back to Perth.
So that could almost, work if they feel that it's a fair trade. And what you do with their contracts is a different story. I guess you work that out. If someone's getting paid more or less, and then how that fits into certain salary caps and that sort of thing. So, maybe that's what needs to be done. We maybe need to see more trading going on between clubs if both parties want to do that. But that's the hard thing. Then all of a sudden you get into the conversation of it being a business like in the US, and players can just wake up at 1 a.m. from a phone call because a team on the West Coast has made a trade, and then they got to pack up and move. So, which is what I guess, usually in your argument, that's what you want to try and avoid, because players aren't getting enough money in Australia to warrant doing that, really. So, it is really, really tough, because, like, what do you do? I think in this instance, a player that is clearly wanting out, you're not gonna get the best of them on the field. So you're wasting your money anyway. So I think you've always got to strike a deal, but then players are going to chuck up a stink when they want to move and do all different things like that, and
maybe you
play
have
personally.
A period of maybe a 2 or 3 week period in the NRL. Maybe it's around Origin time. In the AFL, they have their bye rounds around the same time. It's like, okay, this 3 week period or 2 week period or even a 1 week period, you can sign and move players. And it's all restricted to that 1 week. And
you heard it here first.
Or 2 weeks, and
trade
you can't speak about anything
the
before that. But those 2 weeks, it's hell for leather. Get the deals done, and then we put it all to bed, and then we have the run home for the rest of the season.
But do you think players should be then able to switch teams at that time?
Yeah, that's it.
You sign for the following year.
No, you sign and then you go. And it's not so much about securing a future. It's about these disgruntled players at teams where there's like, oh, I want to move now, but I have to wait till the end of the year. All that kind of business. You get it done and dusted in the middle of the season. Then if you haven't done it, you've got to suck it up and play the rest of the year.
Yeah. I like it. It's a good theory, man, because something has to be done. You got answers. That's what I like about you. I like a lot about you today. I've been really kind, eh?
Yeah, you're a good mate, you are.
good fella.
Check out bets.com.au for game previews for the NRL, AFL, Formula One, supercars, racing, everything. It's all there. It's good.
Everything. Golf. Yeah. And definitely today, I think you've stayed ahead of the game by hanging with Tuck Sports Takes and Sports Pez. Jez, we'll see you on Friday.